We are at the festival at the moment, Longitude, and sitting in front of me now, and that's one of the reasons I took it down before the end, because they're here. Alexis and Joe, you're very welcome from Hot Chip. We've just been talking actually about Mark Lanigan there. One of the most authentically lived-in rock people around. And you were mentioning Soul Savers, at least I was as well.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, that stuff he does.
Yeah, last time I saw him was at Øya Festival in Norway a few years ago, and the Cramps also played, and he was great. He was playing with Greg Dully.
All right, yeah. From the Afghan Wigs.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, right. Greg Dully. I always called him Greg Dully. I once got a thing, a letter saying you're pronouncing his name wrong.
Oh, really?
It's Dooley.
Okay.
But I called it Greg Dully as well.
If my name was Dooley, I'd want to be called Dully.
Nah, Dooley's great. Hang down your head, Greg Dooley. Anyway, where are we here? Yeah, let's take a look at... listen, the quiet way Hot Chip have seemed to have done it. I mean, like, with all due respect, 7 or 8 years ago, you were a band. Yeah, you'll release one album, like so many more too. And then you'll just go off and do something else kind of thing. Album number 5 now, and album number 4 in particular, I suppose, you're bigger than ever. Did you ever expect it to be like this, boys?
Yeah. We just keep doing it, don't we? Until someone shoots us or tells us to stop or something. We never really, we're not a massive band, but... We love writing songs together, so we just keep doing it.
Wait a minute, not a massive band. I mean, you're a band who constantly tours all over the place in biggish places. You go everywhere you want to go. You get your album reviews when they come out. They be the main album review in any music magazine that week, etc. You're hot on the list of, like, this crowd have been going for a good while now, and we await album number 6, 7 and 8, because they did that certainly for 4 and 5.
Cool. Okay.
You give a one answer.
This is pretty good. No.
I led myself into that, didn't I? Okay, then let's take a look then at this album number 4. First of all, I look upon album 4 as some kind of breakthrough. Is that okay?
If you want, yeah.
I mean, I'm not dismissing 1, 2 and 3.
No, it's been a slow breakthrough. Like someone kind of chipping away at a prison cell for the period of 20 years until they finally get out or something.
Do you feel in any way at all that you guys were like 10 years ago doing the kind of, making a kind of music that was like experimental but also accessible in terms of the kind of music we're doing? A bit LCD sound system kind of.
Yeah, well, I loved that band. I loved them from when they began, and I guess all of us did to a certain extent. And yeah, the kind of experimental side of pop music is something that we all love, yeah.
And what about, like, I mean, if you're filed under, electronic pop, or I saw one great one which I thought was really mean. What the hell? Oh yeah, Fisher Price something or other.
Yeah, we've had lots of that stuff. Yeah,
but that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it was all made with Fisher Price instruments,
so why not?
No.
Okay, well then, was album 5, the current one, the In Our Head albums, was that made a bit different than the previous ones? Was it done quicker? And do you realise, gosh, we can actually do this quicker than we used to?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, we went in to try and mix 2 songs, and then we realised we liked working with this engineer, Mark Ralph, and we just kind of kept going and booked in only a few days at a time for each session. So it was naturally limited, the amount of time we actually had, and we were all working on different projects, Two Bears and About Group and New Build, whilst doing that record. So that was the reason it was quick, I think, was because we were just we had our minds elsewhere when we began.
Yeah. So if it had been that famous law, not Murphy's, but whatever one it is, if you'd got 2 years, it would have taken 2 years.
I think so, yeah. But we tend to like working quite quickly, really.
You don't want to ever get to the point where the song starts to sound really boring to you when you're in the studio. And keep it fresh, and fun. And we find that that's generally how things turn out best if we try and do it like that.
And how do you test the songs then? Because I mean, sometimes you can be too close to something. Do you play them for your dad? One of you plays them for your dad, I think, do you?
Joe plays them to my dad, and my dad plays them to Joe's brother, and then
thumbs up, down, or sideways. Then
yeah, no, we try different approaches. I mean, sometimes we play tracks out when they're half finished in clubs and feel disappointed and demoralised, and other times we play them to parents or friends or.
But when you say in clubs, did you write music originally to sound good in a club?
Well...
And would it now be slightly different, saying that it needs to sound good in a car and in a supermarket, and with all due respect, in somebody's front room, etc., and let the club take care of itself?
I think since Hot Chip began being interested in dance music, we were trying to make things that sounded good in clubs, and I don't think we really knew how to do that for a while. I certainly still don't. But
it's a funny one for me because I really desperately wanted that at the beginning. I wanted to put it on in a club and feel like this sounds amazing. I wanted to have that feeling. But now it kind of got to a point where we can kind of do that, and it doesn't seem like such a thing to aspire to anymore, you know? Now I kind of appreciate music that sounds a bit weird or mixed in an unusual way, or things that sound kind of crazy in a club. I think you sometimes kind of lose something by making the track too kind of straightforward, you know?
Yeah.
I want to get back to some kind of craziness.
Well, like for instance, at this thing here now tonight, after you play, how important is the headline band tonight to the kind of music that you might be playing, or is there a link back? I mean, like obviously I'd say yes, there is, but do you think it's ever been overplayed? Like the Godfathers, have like, leave it out.
I think that's not really overplayed, but I think we love that band and yet haven't really made an attempt to make music that actually sounds like or works like Kraftwerk music. But we really love them. We've seen them live a number of times, all together as a band, and you know.
Yeah, it's a very important band.
They mean a lot
us.
to us, and we watched them last night, and they're.
Well, they had Latitude last night.
They were at Latitude, right. Yeah. I don't think it's overplayed at all. I think they're really quite incredible band, and what they're doing still now.
Yeah.
The way that they're adapting their music and sort of using new technology to make it kind of change with the times. They've always done that, and they're still doing it now.
And what's the 3D show like? Is it something special?
It's great, yeah. Joe, you were saying your children didn't get on with the 3D glasses.
Yeah. Like my kids are down at Latitude yesterday. I got a little boy who's 1, and he was just fast asleep. But my little girl Edie and his friend Winter, they're like both about nearly 3. And we had to just kind of keep trying to tell them, like, put on the glasses, it's amazing, you're going to love it, it's magic. And they were like, no, I'm not wearing those. Couldn't make them do it, but they enjoyed the show.
Pardon my ignorance here. Are people going to be 10,000 people going to be handed glasses?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
but I was with some adult friends who refused to wear them as well.
Oh, right, I see. Okay, this should be pretty good. By the way, one last thing about that too. It takes a long time to get dark in this kind of weather here. Like in LA, it gets dark at 8 o'clock at night, no matter how good the day is. Here, it can go to 10:30, 11:15. Does it need the darkness for Kraftwerk tonight?
It kind of helps a little bit, I guess, if you can really, really clearly see the visuals. But I think with their amazing German technology, they'll make it visible in any kind of daylight conditions.
They've done this before.
Yeah, listen, by the way, I'm just trying to think of something you said there about you haven't really done. Is there anything that I could point to in any of the 5 albums of Hot Chip that you could say that's influenced by Kraftwerk? Or are you saying no?
Oh, there is one track called Colours from the second record where I wrote it after watching Kraftwerk at Brixton Academy. So yeah, that was directly influenced by the effect of watching their show and the way that the music and the visuals worked together. It was really quite incredible, overwhelming. You know, it's an amazing.
And directly influencing lyrics. I mean, the two of you guys get I presume it's it has changed down through the years the way you two guys write, or has it? I mean, do you do it together? Do you do it in a room as small as this, or bring ideas to each other?
Usually a room smaller than this.
With the two of you in it?
Yeah.
One of these portable toilets we usually try and get together.
But is it a kind of surely you just bring some ideas and you say, look what I've got. Or
Yeah. Often it's a mix of those things. I bring bits that I've done, and Alexis brings bits that he's done. We try and make something, or sometimes it's more Alexis has written a song and I help produce it with him, or the other way around. We have kind of different methods, but more, I think when we first started, we would sit in the room together and write more together because we had a lot more free time then. We got more responsibilities these days, so we tend to do more apart and then bring it together, but still feels pretty similar to what we've been doing for 10, 12 years.
Well, if the One Life Stand album then, which is the 4th one, it's a bit about it, almost how you guys kind of grew up. Is there something now about where you are with the current album in your head that in our head that you do have responsibilities, families, relationships and all the rest? Does it change things, even with the lyrics, let alone touring?
Yeah, it changes your life in every way, doesn't it? Family and everything like that. Yeah. Some practical ways, like we don't tour for quite as long periods as we did a few years ago, and some just in terms of how you're feeling about life, and that comes into our lyrics and into our songs.
It does, big time. In terms of having being very happy with your relationships too, which is not an awful lot of what other people often write about. It's often the other way around. This is about family, monogamy, it's children, it's faith. It's all there. It's who you are.
Yeah, there's those things. There's also times when we feel sad and depressed about various things, and that comes through occasionally as well. It's not like we're permanently kind of happy, but yeah, I have to say, generally, I'm in a good place. Yeah.
And what about America with you guys? Were you on a? Did you play on a steamship recently somewhere down the Mississippi or something? I don't know where it was.
Yeah, we played on a cruise ship, sort of small festival on a cruise liner.
A small festival on a cruise line.
Yeah, it was quite strange.
Actually, we covered Neon Lights by Kraftwerk during that that trip.
Neon Lights, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Sloop John B by Beach Boys as well.
Well, you'd have to really.
Yeah, we thought it was the one time.
Roll up the mainsail, etc. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so by the way, speaking of which, and covers and collaborations, Robert Wyatt. How great is Robert? How's he getting on these days, by the way?
Oh, I haven't seen him for a couple of years, but he was fantastic to work with, and him and his wife Alfie were really quite amazing.
Yeah, he's written some great songs about Alfie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she was such
Song
a
from Rock
Yeah.
she was such a lovely woman. Yeah, she was like making us sandwiches at lunchtime, making sure we had enough. You know, kind of wanting us to not go without eating during the day. You know, in a motherly way. She was really lovely.
Right, yeah. And what about Bernard Sumner? You worked with as well, didn't you, from New Order?
Yeah.
What happens there? You want some fresh something, and you go, "Hey, let's get your man from New Order, Bernard. Hi, we're Hot Chip. Come down and do this."
Oh, he's different from Robert and Alfie. He just makes a lot of fart jokes, really.
Yeah, I'm damn sure. Yeah, indeed. What's he up to, by the way? There's no electronic or New Order, or he's probably just.
Well,
in a bad mood.
New Order, they were just playing out in Coachella when we were there recently. I think they're still on tour, but when we did work with him, he was talking about still having an ongoing working relationship with Johnny Marr. So maybe they're planning another electronic record. I don't know.
I've never been to Coachella. What's it like? Is it as I cheaply call it the Californian Glastonbury, but I shouldn't.
Well, yeah, there's some similarities. It has the same kind of like arty kind of vibe. You know, there's
So you could be 3 days there and not see a band, that kind of thing.
yeah, it's got that thing, but it's very neat and tidy, and it's very difficult to get a drink. So. Yeah,
actually,
in
the
some
last time I
ways.
saw you, I saw it at our one, which was the Electric Picnic.
Right, yeah.
That was about,
Yeah, that's
2
a
years
great
ago, was it?
festival, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, guys, you're playing tonight anyway. Here's the times here. Hold on a second now. Hot Chip. Oh, God, I should look at what day is today? Sunday. So I was here a bit late last night. There it is. Hot Chip. You're in between Mark Lanigan. Chip, wait, hold on a second. You're on half an hour.
That's right.
Get out. God's sake, I didn't realise that. Alexis and Joe from Hot Chip, listen, thank you very much for dropping in, and congratulations onwards and upwards. Obviously, it's terrible here. It's obvious I like album 4 and 5 much better than 1 and 2 and 3.
I think
That's
they
allowed.
get better.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, we're going to play flutes from the current album, and then you're going to be on stage. We'll probably be taking some of that music at 6. Thanks, guys. Good luck. Get out.
Yeah,
God's
thank you.
sake.
Thank